Almost 630 migrants are stranded in the Mediterranean between Malta and Italy. This is after both countries refused to allow the ship carrying them to dock. Malta says the rescue of the migrants, who set out from Libya, had been coordinated by Rome and was therefore Italy's responsibility. But Italy has refused to accept the asylum seekers. The rescue vessel, the Aquarius, is operated by Medecins Sans Frontieres. The aid organisation says the mostly African migrants were rescued in 6 separate operations in the central Mediterranean on Saturday. More than 120 unaccompanied minors, including 11 young children and 7 pregnant women, are among those on board. Well, for more on this, we are joined by CGTN's Natalie Carney, who is in Rome for us. Natalie, what is the latest on the standoff between Italy and Malta over that migrant rescue vessel?
Well, as you've mentioned, the ship Aquarius rescued 629 miners off the coast of Libya yesterday, but they've been in somewhat of a holding pattern, just about 35 miles off the shores of Sicily and 27 miles off the shores of Malta. Now, the new Interior Minister to Italy, a gentleman named Matteo Salvini from the anti-immigration far-right League Party, has threatened to close Italy's ports. Just this morning, he tweeted, "Italy has ended its obediency. Our heads are held high. This time there is someone to say no." The only issue with that, though, is that it's not his final decision. At the end of the day, the closure of ports does come down to what the Minister of Infrastructure says. And what that minister is saying is that they're going to wait for a formal confirmation whether Malta will take these migrants or not. Informally, Malta has said that they will not take these migrants, as you've mentioned, saying that it is Rome's responsibility, but they have offered to send first aid ships as well. There's also been an offer from Italy as well to send first aid ships to help the migrants that are on board. As this is brewing, there is also another aid ship that we are hearing that is currently off the ships of Libya, a ship called the Sea-Watch 3. It's a Dutch ship chartered by German NGOs. They are waiting for ships that they've heard have just departed from Libya. They are waiting to rescue those migrants, but the big question there is, where will they go?
Do we know anything about the condition of these migrants on board?
Well, there's currently news coming from a Spanish journalist that's on board the ship Aquarius, and he says that conditions at the moment are okay, that they do have food for a few days. And again, we have heard from both Malta and Italy that they will bring on board some medical help if that is needed, as well as some humanitarian help if that is required over the next few days. But the big issue really is with, of course, the young children that you've mentioned and these pregnant mothers. They really do need a situation where that is stable and where their stress, of course, is lowered. So at the moment, a lot of attention is being placed on their well-being.
And what's likely to happen to those people if both Italy and Malta continue to refuse to allow the rescue boat to dock?
Well, it is a very interesting sort of conundrum at the moment. It could really put a dent in political relations between Italy and Malta. Of course, Italy does have a new government here, which has a coalition government, which is partly run by that far-right anti-immigration League Party, who did campaign very heavily on anti-immigration policies for the country. So that could create, this could be the first, let's say, of many disputes as we reach the peak season here of refugees coming across, of disputes between Malta and Italy. However, what we are hearing is that the mayor of the Sicilian town of Catania has said that he will welcome, they are willing to welcome this rescue ship, despite what Rome says, despite what Salvini says. So that could be the card that sort of trumps all at the end of the day. What sort of repercussions Sicily could get from that, from Rome, should Rome and the Minister of Infrastructure say no, they are closing the ports, is yet to be known. But we are hearing that the Sicilian town of Catania is welcoming the boat, should that be the last case scenario, so to speak.
Okay, so it looks like we may have a solution there. Thank you very much. That was CGTN's Natalie Carney there in Rome.